I've heard that Spider-Man isn't at his peak powers for a variety of reasons, including age, experience, still maturing, abilities, and an aversion to killing. Without these, how powerful would a fully realized Spider-Man be? In other words, how powerful would Spider-Man be if he stopped pulling his punches and put his own selfish morals aside and actually put an end to his enemies? Well, there are different versions of Spider-Man, like Spider-Punk, Savage Spider-Man, Ben Reilly Spider-Man, with their own agendas and abilities. The main Peter Parker of the Earth 616 has the most potential. And by that I mean he has the potential to become stronger and better than where he is right now. With Peter Parker, the sky's the limit. And right now he's one of the strongest, hardest hitting street tier superheroes that is in Marvel. But if we take a look at some iterations of him in certain comics, he has the potential to be more than that. And that's what we're going to go over. So let's take a look. Let's talk about his strength. It's no surprise that Spider-Man is incredibly strong. He occasionally throws bows with heavy hitters, like Venom. And here he is smacking around the Hulk. But that's not anything new. We already know that. Let's talk about actual raw strength. Here he is punching Scorpion's jaw clean off. Now I know this isn't Peter Parker, but this is Peter Parker's body. I know this is actually Otto Octavius, but Otto Octavius even remarks that he's been holding back this whole time. I took his jaw clean off. Here he is fucking pressing a goddamn train over his head. Pretty neat, right? Watch this. Here he is holding up a support beam of the Daily Bugle. And then he starts thinking about Norman Osborn, and that pisses him off. And then he starts thinking about Mary Jane. He remarks that Norman Osborn is never going to take anything away from him ever again. And he proceeds to lift that motherfucking building up over his goddamn head. This is a representation of the Daily Bugle, by the way. So while you can say he's not lifting the building, he's just lifting a beam. Alright, fuckhead, look at this. Lick a nut. Alright, so we've determined that he's way more stronger than he's letting off. What else can we talk about? His spider sense. Can his spider sense be better? Hell yeah, it can. His spider sense, as we know it, is an alert system for when he's about to be attacked. But more often than not, it's when the attack is already in motion, so it just gives him enough time to get out of the way. But what happens if he actually trains that? Well, if your answer was, it just gets better, then you're right. And I began to train the spider. Even though he was very talented, it wasn't without focus. Peter needed a teacher to hone his skills. In particular, this warning sense of his. It expanded. At first, it was triggered whenever I attacked him, but soon, with my guidance, I could no longer even think of doing so. As months passed, he would know before even I did. In other words, his spider sense turns into some sort of precognition where he can sense danger before it even happens. He can sense danger before the person even thinks about doing something. And finally, he's just so goddamn smart. His intelligence can rival that of Tony Stark and Reed Richards. At one point, he even became a CEO of his own company called Parker Industries, making gadgets that could complement his abilities well. In short, a fully realized Spider-Man would be insanely powerful.